Building character through auto-suggestion. Being an earnest student of psychology, I knew, of course, that all men have become what they are because of their dominating thoughts and desires. I knew that every deeply seated desire has the effect of causing one to seek outward expression through which that desire may be transmuted into reality. I knew that self-suggestion is a powerful factor in building character, that it is, in fact, the sole principle through which a character is built. With this acknowledged principle of my operation, I was fairly well armed with the equipment needed in rebuilding my character. In these imaginary council meetings I called on my cabinet members of the knowledge I wished each to contribute, addressing myself to each member in the audible words as follows. Mr. Emerson, I desire to acquire from you the marvelous understanding of nature which distinguishes your life, and you make an impress upon my subconscious mind of whatever qualities you possessed, which enabled you to understand and adapt yourself to the law of nature. I ask that you suggest me enriching and drawing upon whatever sources of knowledge are available to this end. Mr. Burbank, I request that you pass on me the knowledge which enable you to harmonize the laws of nature, that you cause the new cactus to shed its thorns and become an edible food. Give me access to the knowledge which enable you to make two blades of glass glow where but one grew before, and they helped you to blend the coloring of the flowers with more splendor and harmony for you alone have successfully glided the lily. Napoleon, I desire to acquire from you, by emulation, the marvelous ability to possess and inspire men, and to arouse them to a greater and more determined spirit of action. Also, to acquire the spirit of ending faith, which enabled you to turn defeat into victory and surmount staggering obstacles. Imperial of fate, king of chance and man of destiny, I salute you. Mr. Payne, I desire to acquire from you the freedom of thought and the courage and the clarity with which to express a conviction which is so distinguished you. Mr. Darwin, I wish to acquire from you the marvelous patience. Okay, I don't want to read this all. Is it all the dialogue or my methods of addressing the members of imaginary cabinet would vary according to the traits of character in which I was, for the moment, most interested in acquiring. To study the records of their lives with painstaking care. After some months of this nightly procedure, I was astounded by the discovery that these imaginary figures became apparently real. Each of these 9 men developed individual characteristics which inspired me. For example, Lincoln developed the habit of always being late, then walking around in a summer parade. When he came, he walked very slowly with his hands clasped behind him, and once in a while he would stop as he passed and rest his hand momentarily upon my shoulder. He always wore an expression of seriousness upon his face. Rarely did I see him smile. The cares of a sundered nation made him grave. Okay. On one occasion, Burbank was late. When he came, he was excited with enthusiasm and explained that He had been late because of the experiment he was making, through which he hoped to be able to grow apples on any sort of tree. Pin chided him by reminding him that it was an apple which started all the trouble between men and women. Ah, I don't like this book. Is that really? No, this is not my thing. Okay, how to outwit the six causes of fear. Take inventory yourself as you read this coding chapter and find out how many the gods are standing in your way. Before you can put any portion of this philosophy into successful use, your mind must prepare to receive it. The preparation is not difficult. It begins with the study, analysis, and understanding of three enemies, which you shall have to clear out. These are indecision, doubt, and the fear. The sixth sense will never function while these three negatives or any of them remain in your mind. The members of these unholy three are closely related, where one is found and the other two are close at hand. Indecision in the seating of fear. Remember this as you read. Indecision crystallizes into doubt. The two blend and become fear. The blending process often is slow. This is one reason why these three enemies are so dangerous. They germinate and grow without their presence being observed. The remainder of this chapter describes an end which must be attained before philosophy as a whole can you put into practical use. It also analyzes a condition which has but lately reduced a huge number of people to poverty, and is stating a truth which must be understood by all who accumulate riches, whether measured in terms of money or state of mind and far greater value than money. The purpose of this chapter is to turn the spotlight of attention upon the cause and the cure of the six basic fears. Before we can master an enemy, we must know its name, its habits, and its place of the adult. As you read, analyze yourself carefully and determine which, if any, the six common fears and attach themselves to you. Do not be deceived by the habits of these subtle enemies. Sometimes they remain hidden in subconscious mind, where they are difficult to locate and still more difficult to eliminate. The six basic fears. There are six basic fears within some combination of which every human suffers at one tune or another. Most people are fortunate if they do not suffer from the entire six, named in order of their most standard appearances. They are the fear, poverty at the bottom of the puberty and criticism most of once, fear of ill health and worries, and fear of loss of loved someone, the fear of old age, the fear of death. All of the fears are of minor importance. They can be grouped under these six headings. The prevalence of these fears is due to the world runs in cycles. For almost 60 years, while the Depression was high, we floundered in a cycle of fear of poverty. During the World War, we were in a cycle of fear of death, and just following the war, we were in a cycle of fear of ill health, as evidenced by the epidemic of disease, which spread itself all over the world. Fears are nothing more than states of mind. The state of mind is subject to control and the direction. Physicians, as everyone knows, are less subject to attack by the disease than ordinary laymen, for the reason that physicians do not fear disease. Physicians, without fear of hesitation, have been known to physically contact hundreds of people daily who were suffering from such contagious disease as smallpox without becoming infected. Their immunity against same diseases consisted largely, if not solely, in their absolute lack of fear. I don't like this book. Okay, I should stop here. Okay.